Hey, welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host
Chip,
Chip. What is going on, Chip? Great to see you tonight.
to
And
be seen.
as always, there's lots of great stuff to talk about. Ripple XRP, a big 13.6% move in the past week, while others are down 20+% like Bitcoin. And now all of that, despite what's going on with the SEC, XRP separating away from all that noise. And how about CBDCs? We all love our centralized central bank digital currencies, but guess what, Chip? They're not that good for the US.
Not at all, it turns out. And it's getting to start, right? No.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Never get tired of that, Jeff. On the chain. What's going on, everybody? Go ahead and drop where you're from tonight. I want you to put the city and the country, and we always love when you drop it in the comments as well if you're watching this. So throw it in there. So a lot of different things going on today. By the way, if it's your first time here, like, subscribe, click that notification bell. That way you get notified anytime Jeff and I go live. And I dropped another video, queued it up for tomorrow morning that will drop at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. So if you guys want to go over there and check it out, but you got to click on the link below for the other channel, and that's how you get there. So short video, 12 minutes in, out. Zip in, zip out, but it's good. You're going to like it.
Zip, zip, zip.
You zip
So,
in, you zip
man,
out.
so there's a lot to talk about with the whole idea of the CBDCs, why they're so bad for the US, but we'll talk about that part later. I think, a great place just to dive straight in, as you always say, dive into the shallow end head first.
Boom.
Why not?
For maximum impact,
Why
Jeff.
not?
For maximum impact. Boom.
Maximum impact. Can't forget about that part. But man, you had a great tweet that you pulled by James Filan.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to start. Do you have that up, or do you want me to pull it up?
I can pull it up, but might be better if you pull it up. You know what? Hang on a second. Let me see. Here we go.
Here we go.
I got it. Here it is.
You do it? You got it?
Yeah, I got it. Well, I'm
All
trying
right,
a new
let's
technique
do
here
it.
tonight, so I want to pull it up so it's large and in charge. Here it is. Let's look at this right here. Bammo, there it is. So yeah, James Phelan, good dude. Always putting great stuff out, amazing stuff out on what's going on with the Ripple lawsuit. He's always the first one to put it out there first. It's like, and the thing is I use LexisNexis, and I have alerts set up for this. Seems a little bit slow on the take, though. He probably has his alerts set up in Pacer, or he's using one of those law softwares that ping you as soon as it drops. He gets it, and he's like that thing will drop, and within like a minute, he has it already posted up there. So, yeah. So he wrote a little 4-panel tweet here that said, the XRP community, SEC versus Ripple. SEC's filed another objection to the motion to intervene, obviously filed by John Deaton. The SEC's mission statement is, among other things, to protect investors, which we know that, Jeff, that's like if they had a list of priorities, you would go to the bottom. It might be in another book in a separate library or on a different computer hard drive. That's how far away they are from their mission statement. To protect investors.
You're saying.
Yeah, so right at the bottom. The SEC has argued from the beginning of this enforcement action that XRP is security. Go ahead, take the next one, Jeff. You read that next one?
What are we on? What's that?
We're on number 2.
We're on number 2. We're on number 2 already. That was quick. So this is I find this tweet interesting, because by that they're actually arguing that XRP holders are actually XRP investors in the latest filing, and then it goes on and attacks XRP holders. And it says, because movements are not seeking to appear as objective friends of the court, but rather to advance their own interests to pursue claims against the SEC. So this always seems like a bullying tactic. Here they are. They say, okay, so now they're going to reference this other group. Now they're lumping all XRP holders together. Obviously, there's a case going on that's filed against the SEC on behalf of holders all over the world of XRP. And it's interesting to see, the way they might tweak or spin it, or, what are your thoughts on that?
I thought was this. Love the way you said that, Chip. Totally way far away. I'm not sure what he's referring to because I don't really remember what I said. I'm just freestyling here, but no,
Straight.
it's absolutely right. I mean,
Nothing's better than that. Freedom
Jeff,
spots was,
or
remember when I was looking sharp with the jacket.
the jacket was good. I like the jacket shirt with the t-shirt thing because that's how, you go to one of these conferences and that's what you do. You keep the same jacket or you grab another jacket, throw a t-shirt on, put that on there, dresses everything up. You always look like you're golden. And
right.
well, this is the thing, this whole idea. It's like, when someone doesn't have a good argument, they attack, right? So they attacked John Deaton personally. They went after his character, and now they're attacking the XRP community. Hello, it's like you want to like knock McFly. You are supposed to protect investors. Now they're going aggressively after the community, not wanting to let them intervene. And I know Jeremy Hogan put a tweet out there saying he agreed with the SEC on that part. But they're not, I don't think, necessarily going to become main litigants in the whole case. But man, it's a bullying tactic, Jeff. I agree with that statement.
Yep. It's interesting.
Yeah,
So,
and
go ahead.
let's soldier on here. So defendants request that the Movants appear as Amici should be denied. It's clear that the SEC is antagonistic towards XRP holders, has no intention of protecting them, advancing XRP interests. Which leads us to only one conclusion, which could be, what is that conclusion, Jeff?
Antagonistic. I like that. Antagonistic.
A great word, isn't it?
Great word there. Antagonizing.
Yeah,
Very
antagonizing. Yeah, and the enforcement action, it's only one thing. It leads to a conclusion, which is the enforcement action brought by the SEC has never been intended to protect anyone or anything. Its only objective has been to destroy XRP holders, and Ripple, the company. The SEC is horribly misguided and needs to end this travesty. This is getting way out of hand, Jeff.
This is way out of hand. And, James is, really spot on with that. First, being antagonistic. They're supposed to be looking out for the interests of retail investors, but they completely ignored the retail investor. They were so quick to go after Ripple. And it's the SEC as a whole. Too many people, again, keep labeling Clayton as the bad guy. It's easy to label him as the bad guy because he's the one who dropped it, but it's systemic within the SEC as a whole, as you see with other cases. Even when they went after the investors, the Reddit investors with GameStop, and how they tried to spin that more, even they were kind of lumping in the investors along with the short sellers, and it wasn't 100% correct way to go, because again, it looks a little bit like they're bullying them. They're using the full power of the SEC to leverage statements like that. Comes off a little different than they probably anticipate.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think what happens is over time, you sometimes, and this happens to companies too, right? A company has a mission statement, and then somewhere along the line, you kind of get away from what you're supposed to be doing and what your core belief system is. And you try to be everything to everyone, you become nothing to no one. And this is part of the thing. If your main focus is to basically protect and look out for, and I see a lot of companies go down this road too, where they hey, let's do this, and now let's do this. And a good example of that is MailChimp. MailChimp started out being really a great platform for, and I kind of like some of the stuff they're doing, but they ventured off, and now we build websites, and now we do this, and it's like, your name is MailChimp. Just be great at one thing, and if you want to break off subsidiary or a sister company, do that, because then your focus is all over to. You could be WebChimp. What the hell? You could be. You could be one of those things. Why not? And then we have here from XRP Sweden. Thank you for that. He says, Clayton calling Gary Gensler and telling him to pull out. Clayton and him and skips any investigation. Ooh, the old pull-out method, I see. Interesting. Interessante. Okay.
Pull the plug.
The old pull-out methodology of not getting yourself in trouble. I see what you're going there, Sweden. Classy, man. Yeah, so you see what happens? You're right. This is exact. They're so far into this, Jeff. When you're losing an argument, you start throwing stuff at people and name calling and all that stuff because you're just like in a hole. You're not going anywhere. That's what happens to some people. They're losing an argument and they just keep digging. That first rule of holes, which is if you're in one, you stop digging. The SEC says, give us a couple more shovels. We're going in. And they shovel all manure And you guys saw our thumbnail tonight. It was pretty funny because we had
Llama.
SEC. Yeah, we had a llama or a camel or something on there laughing at the SEC. You know, we had a scoreboard showing that Ripple's up at 5-0, and that's just an understatement. It's probably more than that at this point. But thank you for that, Sweden. Appreciate that.
Like
Appreciate
this,
that.
Chris Craig said he bought a Chevy Suburban with his Doge money. I don't know if
Nice.
it's supposed to be Dodge or Doge. I'm going to go with Doge.
Doge.
Cost 100. The Doge. He used some Doge and bought a Chevy. But
Is it a 40-gallon tank? My goodness.
$160 to fill the tank. I'd like to know, is that Canadian? Oh, that looks like a dollar. Canadian dollars. That's
I don't know.
possible. I have a Yukon. It costs from empty to full with premium. It costs, I don't know, around $75, $76, 77.
Yeah. That's the thing about the US, Jeff. We have lots of open roads. You know, if you're in Europe and you're in a city, the last thing you want is a huge vehicle because you can't drive it anywhere, especially like if you're going through London. It's like ridiculous trying to go through, you know, in a big car. So you got a big old truck, you know, the four-wheeler like I have. You can just like roll over things. And that's what you want. You want something that eats a lot of gas. You want something that's really, you know, one of these gas guzzling giant machines, right? They can just roll through anything. If you get stuck, throw the four-wheel drive on and just get the hell out of Dodge. There you go.
I like it. I like it.
I saw somebody posted a screenshot today. It was about, I think it was, what's that other cute little that doggy one? Inu or something like that? No, it was, the guy got in like the first day, put $350 in it. And now it's worth 200 grand. No, $399,000, $350 up to $390,000.
That's one you got to jump at. Yeah, that's interesting. With Matic is at $2.47. You know what? You bring up coins. Now's the time to share some coin news. How about that? Boom.
Coin news is always a good thing. There we go. Let's jump in there.
Yeah, let's jump into this one. Look at this. XRP at $1.62. How does that make you feel when you see XRP at $1.62? $14 billion in 24-hour volume with a total market cap of 74 billion. Like the 14 billion, the 74 billion, keeping the fours going there. Yeah, that's big. Look at Bitcoin though, down 23%, hovering at 43. Probably doesn't have anything to do with Elon Musk.
I think it was a big sell-off, but if you look at that though, I mean, we've been waiting for to get away from the whole parity, right? Bitcoin goes up, XRP goes up, Bitcoin drops, and so it's the first time I can remember at least this kind of a sort of a pull away. Because remember, I think it was about a week and a half ago, we dropped down to 96 cents and shot right back up to $1.20. Then we're up to $1. You know, we've kind of been hovering in that one area, but it drops down to $1.20. You buy, and then you instantly get a nice little, you know. But when it dropped to 96, we didn't know it was going further. It tipped 96, and then it was heading way back up again.
It's hard to tell. It's definitely hard to tell what direction it was going to go in. Here's your favorite coin, the Shiba.
There it is, the little Shiba Inu. It's Doge's big brother. I think that's how they pitch it right there. It's big brother Doge. Then there was another one that I've never heard of before that had so many zeros. I couldn't count them all. You know how there's a few zeros, you can count them, but then you got to like put your finger on it and kind of move it one by one because I had like 10 or 12 zeros. So you buy like a couple billion of those, and then that thing only has to kill a couple zeros, and you're rolling in it. Then you throw it in XRP.
Doing well. That's right.
Throw it in, buy some Matic with it, you know.
That's what I'm talking about right there. You got the Polygon, the Matic, 247. It was 250 not that long ago, up 129% in the past 7 days.
Yeah,
well, I some serious movement right there.
Yeah, I received when that first came out, I received somebody sent me 100 of them. It was worth not even $1 at that time, and now that's worth $247. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Now, here's something we were talking about earlier. I brought this up. As you start scrolling down, all of a sudden I see these digital assets that said, you know, I've never really heard of before. And this one, Kusama, $600. It's up 36% in the past 7 days. And then when you get into the project a little bit, the KSM.
There's a project?
Token. Well, I don't know what the project is.
There's a project behind that?
There might be. I don't know. The project is, can you get it to 1,000? That's the project. I'm sure there's more to it, but who knows? Anyhow, you know, it's but look at it. It's on Where is it? Oh, it's on Binance.
Well, we have a public service
Sometimes.
announcement here from XRP Speedboat. Thank you for that. He says, we have milk in plastic bags in Canada. Please avoid putting gasoline in plastic bags. Thanks. Well, in the US, that's something that we really love to do is put them in plastic bags. And even when it's
Yeah.
spewing all over the place, you just get another bag to put it in, and then it ends up all over your trunk, for the hurricanes, you have to load up the gas for the generator and you wait in a line. I remember last time I did that, I had one bad gas can. It's a plastic can. I didn't realize it was leaking on the seam. And what I do, Jeff, is I take those, the things you put out for recycling.
Oh yeah.
I put them in there so it doesn't move around, right? But those have holes in them. See, that's the problem. It's like it was leaking, but luckily I've got a bed liner in the back of my truck, and so it didn't get so bad. But the smell's in there. You just wash it off and scrub it, but that smell's in there forever. It's like nasty.
It sucks.
Yeah, so thanks for that. Yeah, plastic bags. I know that I like actually the plastic bag concept up there. So
it's all. Yeah, it's perfect. I just want to throw this up. Mr. K was saying, yes, Matic will go way higher as the side chain to reduce ETH gas fees. That's
isn't that amazing though?
That's really good. Yeah.
The problem they're solving.
Yep. It's always good to have and it's a major problem right now. How are you going to work within the infrastructure of Ethereum when gas prices are out of control?
I saw Mike Novogratz on a video again today, and it's like so tiring to watch him because he's like, he starts talking about, well, Ethereum, the ones to watch are Bitcoin and Ethereum, and Ethereum and Bitcoin, and Ethereum's is where everybody's building. Yeah, they're building there now, but you want to know something? When something better comes along, Flare, when you start having all these other projects coming along, guess what? That's where people start building. So yeah, right now it's the cat's ass, as we used to say, Jeff. But
yeah, so blockchain backer saying, I remember drinking milk in a plastic bag in grade school. Actually,
where did you go to school?
I also had plastic milk in plastic bags.
Did you really? We drank out of we had drank miniature.
I wasn't in the US, but
yeah, we were in
the
miniature
US.
cartons.
Yeah, and the greatest thing, you get little plastic bags of chocolate milk, and you kind of bite off the said thing, and you drink it out of the bag. It was great. That was awesome.
We had Capri Suns. Just rip.
I remember those. Oh yeah, you put the little thing in the top. Yeah, the poke. But
if you didn't poke it right,
it's like smashing the straw on it. Then you get it, you're squeezing it. It's like stuff all over the place. So
yeah, I know that was fun. That's about as close as we got to plastic bags. We had those little cartons of, in the, back in the lunch thing, you had a little carton of milk and you drink out of it, like 3 sips and it was gone. But
no.
Thanks, blockchain backer, for getting us off topic. That's usually my job. But thank you for that.
XRP Global says, I need to achieve at least one thing in life. XRP Moon for me, and that's going to be it. He's going to bring XRP Global. That's awesome. It's a way to do it.
Look, we've been in this for so long. If you go back to 2017, 2016, did I buy crypto early on? Yeah. Did I know what I was doing? Not a clue. Did I buy Bitcoin when it was in the 200s? Yeah, I thought it was kind of pricey, to be honest with you. It wasn't a lot to compare it to. Did I sell it in the 800s? Hell yeah. I 4 times my money. Did I watch it go to 20 grand and I cried like a baby? Hell yeah, I did. And then now we're like, oh, it's crap, it's down to 42,000.
So, hey, Organic FUD is saying, what decides price action, the real world or charts? He said, why look for patterns in charts when guys like Elon Musk can wake up one day and completely control the price? Now, the question is whether or not Elon Musk was actually able, if he's able to control pricing through manipulation, there's an issue with that. And I'm sure that the SEC would also take notice if he's using his celebrity status to impact the up or down of an asset, if he's trying to drive it up when he comes out, or if he's trying to drive it down. So there's some statements regarding Bitcoin. He kind of responded to him, but then he said he wasn't selling yet, but then he responded indeed as though he was thinking about selling. Did the market react to his response, or is the market in a pullback regardless of what his thought process is? And is Dogecoin reacting also to Elon Musk and kind of driving up in price because of what he's saying? But if he's somehow caught in that manipulation, I don't know, man. It seems like it could potentially be a little bit of a gray area for the SEC.
Oh, don't bring the SEC into this, Jeff. That's the last thing we want to do. We were on a nice tear getting away from the SEC. I mean, when it comes to charts, I defer to blockchain backer. That's not my area of expertise. And I watched that, and he's calling all this stuff, and I'm like, I learned a little bit from it, but all that nomenclature, yeah, there's always going to be, you're always going to have with any kind of charts or anything, you're always going to have those outside sort of influences. Yeah, those are completely, minor at times, but I don't necessarily think it's that. There's a lot of other market factors that are going on too. The stocks took a dump. People are like, why is Palantir in the dumper? I'm thinking, man, I should have sold when it hit 40. I mean, Jeff, is like I've seen a lot of articles recently. They had a good Q1, so it's like, wait a minute. There's companies out there where they're not generating good profits in the stock world, and they're not doing really well. That doesn't translate really to crypto. But if they had a great Q1, a good earnings call, everything looks pretty good, and then the stock tanks. It's weird. There's other companies that if you look behind the curtain, they don't have a lot of cash. They are just over their head in debt. Their new business units aren't making any money, and the stock is rising. So, to try to compare it to that, it's kind of like, why does that happen? Why do you have a company that's great, has a great Q1, stock dumps? You have another company so there's these misnomers that definitely happen. Now, when it comes to crypto, I wonder, you start looking at how much people are buying. Like the volumes, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, have been pretty steady around XRP, given all that's happened, right? Given the SEC, given the nonstop, and they just keep stepping in it, which is kind of what my video is about tomorrow. But they just continue to step in the big piles all the time. What's that one there? What is that?
I think this is an interesting reference point. So, Coin at $239.
Wow.
Right? So it's marking its high point at $333 back April 19th, right? And it's just been on a slippery slope down about 100 points since a month ago. Look, April 19th, May 18th, one more day, and we're probably going to be at exactly $100 drop in the past month, in 1 month. So now here's the kind of the juxtaposition of this, if we can get out of the ads. So Coinbase reporting revenue tripled from last quarter. God, I hate all those pop-ups. I need to use a different browser. Coinbase revenue tripled as crypto price skyrocketed. But look at this. So in Q1, they have a earnings per share of $3.05 for Q1. Huge. Look, it brought in $1.8 billion of revenue, up from $585 million in Q4. And that's kind of what they were already projecting when it started. And now in all of in the fourth quarter, and then 191 million a year ago. So if you were to do, Q4 over Q4, I'm assuming they're referencing Q4. It was 191 million. Then 1 year later, it goes up to 585. Then a month later, up 1.8. But then to your point, down 100 points.
Yeah, that is, well, the thing about it is, if you remember back in the day, Facebook did a similar thing where a lot of people bought Facebook, they watched it slide, but the people that held on to it did pretty well. I like this. Mel G says, hey, like blockchain backer says, zoom out, look to the left. And then John Doe said, hey, I once read the blockchain backer was the source material for Chuck Norris jokes. It's just really funny stuff here, man. Look at right here. Wow, and I canceled an order for $250 for Coin. Glad I did. Yeah, because if you forget about that stuff and all of a sudden it executes. But I think this is all short term. The fact that, well, I'm just speculating here, but I think that now that they're flush with a little bit of cash, they have a little bit of cash, right? They a little bit of influx. They're past that whole direct listing thing. Well, they're already raising a billion plus. I think $1.12 billion. And so when you're going to be able to do with that, you're going to start watching them make acquisitions. You're going to start watching all kinds of little things. They're going to start getting, who knows, probably speculate that they become a bank, right? They go set up, they become a bank. They're going to get there at some point, and they're going to start acquiring technology. And yeah, they were slow growth with a lot of the coins, but they're going to probably have every coin at some point, because now they're past all of the scary stuff. They certainly don't want to go to this direct listing, have the SEC breathing down their back and going, well, you have Shiba Inu and you have this and you have that and all this other stuff. Now all the coins are going to be there. They're going to start acquiring stuff. They're going to create a fund. They're going to invest in companies. They're just going to blow up. So that is temporary, what we see right now. And if you're into buying, yeah, we don't know where the bottom is, but look, that's going to blow past 500 at some point. Organic FUD says,
I believe so. Yeah.
Don't forget this, Jeff. Fiat plus XRP equals CBDC.
Oh, that's a perfect segue. Hey, I'm glad you brought that up. I've got a
CBDC. I saw that. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that nice comment up. So this I thought was interesting because this really has to do with central bank digital currencies. So
look at that face. What a sourpuss, Jeff.
Look how man, he's super happy. We should get the that picture of Gensler with the finger, and then kind of looking at Jerome Powell with his finger like this, and he's like, "Why are you scolding me?" So here you have a central bank digital currency would be bad for the U.S. Now,
oh God,
I think it's spot on because one thing. Look, calls to catch China on digital currency downplay the promise of open financial technology, says Circle, head of global policy. Now, when we get into it, basically you have all these Western countries chasing after and commenting on China with their digital yuan, their digital currency. And then others are somewhat maybe jealous of it or trying to make statements and claims that we need to catch up to them. Oh, what's up, Darcy? And so here, I think this is so spot on because if we're trying to catch China's digital currency, their centralized digital currency, and then we're focusing over here on the idea of DeFi, of open financial tech, I think Circle was really, spot on with that and just kind of really drives home the point. And there's some really good statements in here, one of them, and I think this is where it starts out, just to reiterate, but among the many arguments for why this is necessary is that the U.S. is losing ground to China, whose government has a national blockchain strategy, including a real-world prototype central bank digital currency. And the person says, while these arguments are valid, they miss the larger point, which is that by today's hyper-competitive digital currency and blockchain standards, the U.S. may not be a laggard at all, but rather is already winning the race for the future of money and payments.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, Jeff, is like the point is you don't want to like play catch up. I get that whole point. It's like not about playing catch up, but if you look back about 2 years ago, it's like, oh no, central banks, oh no, we crypto is not good. We're going to continue going on with fiat. And I was like, whoa. And then one country goes, well, we're going to do it. Maybe like the Bahamas says we'll do the sand dollar, and they're like, whoa, what? So it becomes like one of these like let's one up somebody. It's like I look at what's going on in the U.S. and it's like Texas and Florida, the governors are trying to one up each other, and one does this, the other one's like, well, what about that? And the other one's like, we are going to outlaw masks in every government building, school, and anything. And then the other one, and so countries do that same thing. They try to one up each other. It's like, well, yeah, we have to be first. And it's like being first. I think Powell is the one that said, look, sometimes you got to figure this stuff out. You don't want to necessarily be first. And you know who's famous for saying that, Jeff? One of the greatest men that ever lived. His name is Steve Jobs, and he was the founder and CEO of Apple. And one of the things he used to say was, we're not first. And I mean, you can give us a lot of criticism of that, but when we perfect it, when we roll it out, it's right. And that's where I look at when I use a Mac versus like a PC. The Mac figured the stuff out. The PC is like watching like spaghetti. I don't know. It's an Android phone is like watching an inferior, sort of a thing. And then, there's just Apple, and it's like, it's the greatest thing, and there's everything else, right, Jeff?
Look at that. There we go.
Yeah, look
Not
at
an
Jeff.
Apple.
This is an Apple, boss. Look at that right there. You see that?
I see that, yeah.
Apple, baby.
Look at that. Let's see.
That's what it is.
Nice.
So I wanted to throw this story up here.
Wait. Let me just comment on that before you throw the story up.
That's a good one.
So Organic FUD said China got tricked with CBDCs. They want China to waste time building CBDCs, which is not even an upgrade from fiat. So they don't try and copy what Ripple is doing. So I mean, there's obviously a lot going on with that. And here there was another one I wanted to put up. Just get your feedback before you put up the next article. But Robert Morris was saying, hey, Chip, Jeff, what do you guys think about the Treasury needing to issue more debt bonds so we don't default on interest payments July 31?
I say default. Let it ride. Just go ahead and default. Let it all hit the fan. Why not? What do you think, Jeff?
Let's do it.
Why not? I mean, what? It's like, oh my God, we got to do this. We got to do that. It's like, oh, we'll get around to it. You know what? The U.S. can default on stuff. Why not? Anybody else can. I mean, who knows?
Too big to fail, right? Whoa, did you see me skip?
That was a weird thing. I didn't see that.
And see the skip.
Well, it's more of the same, Robert. I mean, it's kind of more of the same, right? It's kind of what we do here. It's kind of like we just continually seem to waste. Everybody else is on some sort of a budget, but we're just have like a free open book checkbook. You just continue to write and print fiat, and you don't even print it anymore, because I'm like, what's the point of having a digital currency when the circulation right now there's more $2 trillion of, you know, the market cap for crypto is more than all of the USD in circulation, right? So if there's only 2 trillion, if 2 trillion is more than the fiat that's in circulation, the other ones are just numbers in a machine, right? So what's with the whole digital thing? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Digital, man. So
do you know XRP plus OTC equals pure magic?
Oh, hell yeah, I believe with that. That's pure magic right there. And I'm starting to skip a little bit. I can feel it already. So yep. Dan Harmon, I don't know if you know. Do you know who Dan Harmon is right off the tip of your tongue there? So Dan Harmon is the creator of Rick and Morty. And he's coming out with a new animated series. You never seen it? Nah, it's pretty funny. And so he's coming out with a new series on Fox called Crapopolis. And it's going to be the first ever animated series curated entirely on the blockchain, and it'll mark the broadcast network's debut move in the NFT business. Fox says it's also debuting a new NFT company called Blockchain Creative Labs. What? Blockchain Backer? No. Blockchain Creative Labs. Not to go too far into it today, but as an advertiser focused artist first and animation. Oh, I lost it. Where was I? Yeah, an artist first animation obsessed company, Fox is going to take advertisers into the world of blockchain powered tokens, including NFTs. Charlie Collier told advertisers, and they're like, what are NFTs? He says that'll be streamed online. Dan's series currently entitled Crapopolis, which I already read that part. Fox will launch a dedicated marketplace for, I want to say Craptopolis, but it's Crapopolis. We'll curate and sell.
Crapopolis is good.
It's Craptopolis. I want to put the T in there. Digital goods, NFTs, one of a kind character and background art. I mean, so basically what they're trying to do is like merch the hell out of this thing. And I'm already not cool with the name, but maybe it's the greatest name in the world. I don't know. Maybe it's great. And the fact that he's coming back is a big deal as well. In 2009, Emmy-winning writer launched NBC's Community to considerable fandom, which I don't know. I was kind of like stuck on that. I know my son-in-law loved that show. So did my daughter. I just was like, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't my humor. Leave it to Dan Harmon to turn the mythos of early Greek civilization into a remarkably sharp commentary on today's politics, celebrity, and pop culture. So that's what they're going to that's kind of like what it's going to be. So it could be Simpson-esque in a way, you know, but now I get the whole Crapopolis. I get that whole thing. It talks a little bit about Disaster Girl, which they made into a meme starring Elon Musk. Another project called Comedy is called Hold On for Dear Life, previously announced in development from Beacon Pictures, trying to become the first show that's financed using crypto, but it hasn't found a distributor yet.
I like that.
Because nobody cares. Stars American Gods also released collectibles using NFTs, but Fox's effort is aiming to be the first major series player in the space. Huh. That is something.
Nice. Interesting.
What do you think about that?
Very interesting.
Well, you know what? I like South Park. I love South Park, but you know, South Park too ought to get it. I mean, the whole NFT thing, I don't know, Jeff. I mean, I think it's cool. I like being able to put stuff on the blockchain, but I think we haven't really figured it out yet. I think it's all like wild until it settles down. It was like, remember the internet was like, hey, come up with a name, put it on .com, throw some money at it, and then like, oh, that was dumb. So I think that's
the whole NFT craze is almost like it's already gone already. That's how fast things move in blockchain. NFTs kind of came, bunch of hype over it. now they've been pushed to the wayside, but the real NFTs are getting ready to push their way forward. And I firmly believe that the NFT space is going to be focused in on the gaming space before anything, because gaming needs NFTs. You have creators creating things. Why shouldn't they get constant payment for what they make? I mean, it would be an easy method to stream payments in all these kind of real-time scenarios in gaming. So it's massive. And that's where I see it happening, because where else, you can buy a digital representation of something. I don't care. You buy a digital representation of a video and you save it on your hard drive. Who cares? Why am I going to buy it? Has no meaning to me. Unless, you're going to start buying and selling. It's not tactile. It doesn't have, even from the collector's perspective, I still don't get it. I don't get digital collectibles. I just don't get it.
I totally get it. No, I think it's a great idea. It's just like, but again, it might be something you're not necessarily into. I mean, from that standpoint, maybe it's just not something you're into. But speaking on that same sort of
dude, give me. You know what would be cool though? I want an NFT of the first XRP, or an NFT. I want the first Bitcoin ever mined, and then make it an NFT. And you just emblaze it for all time, and that you have the first Bitcoin that was ever mined. Now that would be, in the digital space, that would be awesome. That'd be the coolest thing ever, man.
I know you make an NFT of that. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Someone will figure it out.
NFT of that. Somebody could.
I'm throwing it out there to someone that has the idea of how to do it.
So
we just want a small cut.
We remember Brian Brooks as being a real friend to the industry and one of the few people in government that actually made something happen, right? Didn't watch it happen, and he wasn't one of the people that said, hey, what happened? Because that's the three people, right? He actually made stuff happen. And you have OCC signals. This is from Crypto Wolf, says the OCC signals that may be less crypto friendly than Brian Brooks' regime. Acting comptroller of the currency, Michael Hugh, is calling for, or Sue, I don't know how you pronounce that, is calling for a review of the cryptocurrency guidance issued by the OCC under his predecessor. Now, why would you do that, Jeff?
Because he's weak as...
This is moronic stuff right here, right?
Dude, it's Brian Brooks, man. Brian Brooks is a legend. Brian Brooks is now the CEO of Binance US. I mean, that's massive. It's massive. I mean, that's the greatest thing ever. Here you go. You got Brian Brooks comes out as controller of the currency, gets hired into a high spot. But come on, I mean, why do they have everything has to be under review?
Why would you believe that this whole regime is friendly to anything? They don't like business. They want to crush business. They want to destroy everything. They want to, I mean, everything, the way it's going right now, everything is being destroyed. And they're like, that's okay. It's like, it reminds me of that little fun dog sitting there where everything's burning around him. He's like, it's fine. But you would never call it for a review unless you were really willing to do something about it. He's got to look at what his predecessor did. I mean, is this a way to waste some time at beginning days, or what is it? Acting comptroller of the currency, Michael Hsu, was named to the position earlier this month by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Well, there's a shocker. Wasted no time in making a mark. And his mark may be that he's hated by everyone, not just people in the cryptocurrency, but everyone on the planet. He ordered a review of several of the agency's recent actions, including moves that gave it authority to provide cryptocurrency custody companies with banking licenses. Okay, now, so why would you, the one thing that's going to actually get to mass adoption, you roll that back, you're going to get incoming, man. You're just going to get a lot of incoming hate and everything else.
Man, what's wrong with these people? I swear to God. I mean, it's just like, where do you start? Where do you start? I mean, the insanity of what comes out of their mouths. I honestly, I don't even understand how they got to the positions that they're in at this point, because everything that they're preaching has nothing to do with open economy. It has nothing to do with, everything that we just, represented, from that other article, which was why we don't want to move to a central bank digital currency, because, the circle head of global policy says that it's, quote, it downplays the promise of open financial technology. Everything that comes out of these guys' mouths is the exact same thing. They want to get rid of anything that has to do with open financial technology or open current financial infrastructure. You know, I mean, man, every time I hear something come out, I automatically start thinking, what are they going to think of next? You know, I think the next thing, Chip, they want to implement a tax that's
Yeah,
going to tax your future potential earnings
that's right.
or your future potential capital gains, because you might, being that based on your past, you invested and made some money. So in the future, you're probably going to do the same thing and maybe on average make the same returns. So you should pay
Man.
taxes on it just because it's a thought in your head. How about
And
that?
you know what's, and I'm laughing about it, but you know what? I think you might be closer to the truth. For example, you
Fortunately,
go like, well, let's see, 5 years from now, you probably on a trajectory that you would be worth this much money and you're going to pay that now. It's like, well, what if I die by that? Well,
that's
capital
why you're
gains.
paying it
What?
now.
Sorry, capital gains. Exactly. It's like, we'll just knock it off to 100% capital gains. Well, no, but I paid all the tax into it. Will my family get a discount? No discounts. You know, and it's like, where does it ever end? It's like,
Oh, you
so
know what?
it's,
They can get a discount if they pay with Yeti coin.
well, there you go. I'm all down with that. But it says
Yeah.
prior to that, BRICS OCC launched the National FinTech Banking Charter, allowing companies to offer lending products. But BRICS's leadership also rubbed some policymakers the wrong way. Is this a straw man argument again? Which policymakers? In late
The
2020,
policymakers, they're the cryptic ones that are out there in the
well, yeah, a group of Democratic representatives argued that Brooks had demonstrated an excessive focus on crypto assets and crypto-related. Are these the same Democratic representatives that sit there on the Financial Services Committee, Jeff?
well, it's probably like the Shermanator.
After the 2020
Oh, wait.
election, yeah, after the 2020
Okay.
Financial Services Chair Maxine Waters wrote then President-elect Joe Biden, urging him to rescind. That would be probably interesting, but I don't think he knows where he's at. He might be like he's just, I don't know if there's any clarity. Your appointed officials at the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency must also not assume, as their predecessors have, that a law Congress passed over 150 years ago somehow gives them authority to provide a national bank charter to a non-bank fintech or payment company, she wrote. That is absolutely cryptic as I can say. Well, so what were we supposed to do? Sit in our hands and never do any sort of innovation?
Yeah, and here's what they're saying is that a law Congress passed over 150 years ago, and that's pretty much around the time she probably entered Congress. So maybe she actually voted on it. I don't know. But the law
Man.
Congress passed over 150 years ago somehow gives them the authority. Yes, it does give them the authority if it's a law on the books. If it's a
Right.
law on the books, good or bad, you have to live with it. I mean, come on. I mean, you can come out with an opinion, but that doesn't mean you go and rescind the OCC's guidance because they're using laws that were on the books 150 years ago. What about, oh, wait a minute, the Securities Acts? What about the Security Exchange Act? What about,
Right.
you know, I mean, come on, 1933, 1934, it's not 150 years
1946.
ago, 1946, 1986, 19, there's all the numbers, you know, I mean, it's like, it's
Every
crazy,
6.
man.
Every year
Every
with the 6
six,
in it.
every 4, every 3, every 2.
Yeah. There was an awesome article by Rosalind Layton, which I
Come on.
break down tomorrow's video anyway. But one of the great things about what she asserts in there is like, at one point do you stretch that Howey test, and what century do you stretch it into before you go like, look, we didn't have tech back then. There was no internet. I mean, we're going back to a time when you think about commercial air flight, and it was like nothing resembles anything today in 1946. Almost nothing like what you can relate to today existed in 1946. A car was like, big steering wheel, big old Ford. It was just, and how are you going to stretch it? Like at some point it breaks. And one of the things she argued was we need the ripple test. And I think we're going to get the ripple test. But Gary Gensler, to me, has been an absolute failure right out of the gate. I mean, he'll be judged on the entirety of his work, but here's somebody who has a stellar background when it comes to digital assets and cryptocurrency. One of the few people in government that understands the ins and outs. Obviously, he taught a course at MIT that's free on the internet. He told us it was. And here he comes in to go ahead and make a mark. He could come in there and say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to rescind this. Let's back up. Let's figure this out. Let's call a meeting. Let's get together with Congress. Let's get that token taxonomy passed. But instead, what do we see? We see policy after policy that's looked to crush the human, to crush the individual, to crush the company, to crush the innovation. And at some point, you got to think to yourself, Well, this is happening on a global sort of a scale where this seems to be the pervasive thought process, where instead of lifting people up saying, hey, how can we be a great country? How can we do good things? You know, XRP Sweden. How can Sweden rise? What kind of innovation can we, what kind of laws can we pass so we can make it easy for entrepreneurs to rise up, to have fintechs? You know, you could do this in Canada. We need fintechs to grow. What about Mexico? What about South America? Let the people do what they do best, which is create, and then go ahead and figure out some rules. You know, hey, that didn't go so well, put something in place. But to just crush everything and this kind of stuff right here, Jeff, why would you review something that was widely accepted and by just one of the greatest things that ever happened? Because fintechs, unless Jeff, the lobbyists at the banks don't want you making the move, because they don't want fintechs to succeed. They don't want fintechs to like be nosing around in their area. So it all comes down to following the money. You follow the money. Who donates the most to these to the House and you know, the Congress? Follow the money, Jeff. It's always going to be that.
You're right, lobbyists. Man. They're holding on for dear life. So they're the big brick and mortars are hodling everything. They're holding on for dear life because they see the writing on the wall. And just like Alex Mashinsky had said, you know, the titans that come out of this ash heap are going to be completely different than the titans of yesterday. And it's massive. And let me just put this quote up. It's from that other article, but it's right to the point, because here you have, they believe that government will always do better. They think government can do it better than private industry. They believe that government is smarter than the common everyday retail investor. They believe that through their legislation and through their laws and their overtaxation, that they're somehow going to help the individuals on the street, but it's the furthest thing from the truth. Look at this quote here. A $2 trillion industry was born largely on public digital commons. Right? I mean, this is amazing. And these are private entities building this. People wrote the code. Vitalik Buterin, whatever is, however you pronounce it.
Got a butt in there.
Yeah. So, he wrote the code. All these others, look at all these assets that have bounced, that have popped up. XRP, all of them built by private entity. And now here you have, rather than on risk-prone and costly technology implied by a government-administered CBDC or a government-administered whatever, fill in the blanks, right? Because we always know the government never has an incentive to ever get anything done right. They just have an incentive to do, because the money is endless. It's endless. It never ends. Never ends for them.
I don't know, Jeff. I mean, at some point I just get a little bit like withdrawn, because the whole thing, if you're not going to support companies, people to succeed, what are you doing then? What do we need government for, quite honestly? And the bottom line is that if you don't have a big enough ecosystem where fintechs, the only time innovation ever really happens is when companies are trying to one up each other, right? You had Apple and Microsoft, you have Google and Yahoo, and then Yahoo fell by the wayside. Google crushed them. Right? But you need you need somebody new to come on the block to go ahead and lift that. And government doesn't have that. Government basically is a race to the bottom and to see how badly they can do it. And it's like, that's where, I don't care who's running the show. Government's bad. It's always a bad choice all the way around. But that's why you always want to go to the, by the way, I was on a webinar today. It was like the funniest part that happened on that was when the host said, Jeff seems angry. Jeff, you seem angry, bro. You angry, bro?
I'm angry.
It's called passion. The funniest thing was on there was like, it was a real serious webinar. We were talking about really serious subject. And then he goes, and he made a joke, and it was like, I kind of laughed, but he said, hey, did you say that was a government site? He goes, well, I'm sure it's a great user experience, and it works perfectly the way you'd expect it to. It was like, no, it doesn't. It's a government site. You pay for it. No, it doesn't work well at all. It's like broken. And that's the whole point. You remember all the stuff, the horror stories from the previous administration before the last administration, was they paid like hundreds of millions of dollars to build a website and it didn't work.
I remember.
What are they? Yeah, it's like, what are you guys doing? I mean, it's just like it's bad, man. It's like this whole thing of man.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Which one was that? Which website was that? Wasn't that the
That was the was that
you
one of the
can keep your
healthcare web?
healthcare?
Yeah, it
You
was
can
one of
keep
the
your-
health.
You can keep your healthcare website.
It was one of those web. Yeah, it didn't. It
That
never
was a
really worked.
disaster.
Yeah, it never really
A
worked.
disaster.
People couldn't figure it
Yeah.
out. It was really bad. But speaking of disasters, we're probably gonna want to pull this one up because this one, I'm miffed on this one, Jeff. I mean, I get where they're coming with this one, but just let's put this on there because
Guys, bang bang.
you guys, you know what that is, right? That's our boy Pomp,
Yeah. Yep.
right? You guys can hear that.
Is it pizza day already?
Yeah, so that's our boy Pomp. So wait till you see this, Jeff. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I think Pomp's off the reservation. Pomp is gone, man. So listen to this right here, okay?
Bang bang. Everybody knows there's two things I love more than anything else in the world: Bitcoin and pizza.
Oh, really? And so what
Oh,
does that
nice.
mean? Jeff, do
The
you know what
two
he's going to
things.
say now? Those are the two things
Pizza
he
day.
loves. What is he going to do?
He's gonna go buy some pizza with Bitcoin.
Pretty close. To this, closer than you think.
That's why
See what he
today
does.
we're announcing Bitcoin pizza.
Oh, come on.
Bitcoin pizza. That's why they're announcing it, Jeff. Watch this.
That's right. What is Bitcoin pizza? Bitcoin
That's a good question, Jeff. What is Bitcoin pizza?
Dude, I don't know. It looks pretty good.
Oh, I don't care.
What is
I'd
that
eat it.
website? Did you look it up? Eat Bitcoin pizza.
It's well, this he explains a little
Pizza
more.
is a new national pizza chain that allows you to eat tasty pizza while also supporting Bitcoin developers.
Wait a minute, Jeff. Bitcoin developers?
Huh.
What the hell? Did I miss this? I'm watching this whole thing like Bitcoin. There aren't any Bitcoin developers, Pump. You know who his Bitcoin
This is
developers
great,
are?
man.
Dude,
This is
what
awesome.
what is he talking about? Bitcoin developers? Dude, what are they going to develop? Side chains?
Dude,
So hang
I
on a
know,
second.
it's
He's not
awesome.
done.
No,
I'm
keep
just like,
going.
this is amazing.
Here's how it works. You head to eatbitcoinpizza.com. You
All right,
order
put
the
it up
pizza
there.
that you want. You select the day and time that you want it delivered straight to your door. And a local pizzeria in your town will go ahead, they'll make the pizza, they'll put it in one of these awesome boxes that
One of these awesome
I
boxes.
love
created,
it.
and
I
they'll
love
have it
it, man.
delivered right to you on the specified day and time. We
Specified day and time. Jeff, let's set one for 5 years from now. Do you think you're going to get that pizza 5 years from now?
Dude,
You
yeah,
think
you can
Bitcoin-
get one from Miami. They have a Bitcoin pizza Flagler in Miami.
Yeah, right. Good luck on delivering
There's
here.
another
But-
one, North Miami.
But
Biscayne
Jeff,
Boulevard.
my point is you order one and you say delivery for 5 years from now. Is this place
Oh,
going to
5
still be
years.
this?
Oh, is that what he's saying? 5 years from
No,
now?
no.
It's not
I'm
like-
saying if you set it for a year from now, you're not going to get a pizza. It's not going to be around anymore. This is going to
Oh,
burn
let's
out
try it.
faster than most rock and roll bands. Hang on.
take 100% of the profits from this pilot and we're donating it to the Human Rights Foundation.
Now wait a minute, Jeff.
To the what foundation?
The Human Rights Foundation.
What is that?
What are you
Is
going
that a
to tell
real
you?
thing? All right.
Bitcoin Developers Fund.
I don't understand
Well-
that. The Human Rights Bitcoin Foundation Fund. Dude, this sounds like a
Okay.
ruse. We're taking for a ride right here, right now, right?
That's right. When you
Says-
buy a Bitcoin pizza, what happens is you're actually funding Bitcoin development. So to get started, we're launching in 10 cities across the United States: Boston, New York, Washington, D.C., Miami, Chicago, Austin, Houston, Seattle, the Bay Area, and LA. If you're in one of those 10 cities in the United States, you can go to eatbitcoinpizza.com today and actually put in an order for delivery starting on Saturday. This Saturday is the 11-year anniversary of the infamous Bitcoin pizza transaction.
Guy's
It was
smart.
the first purchase of a good or service using Bitcoin as a currency 11 years ago. When you place an order at eatbitcoinpizza.com, not only are you getting tasty food, but you're also supporting a local small business and Bitcoin developers around the world.
I still don't understand
Yeah.
what Bitcoin develops. Sounds like they're going to invest it in their pocket, right? So
Dude,
I
no,
never,
man. I think this is brilliant. It's
I've never heard of
the
Bitcoin
guy's
developers.
brilliant. The guy's brilliant, though. I mean, what he's talking about is the Human Rights Foundation. They want to invest, assuming they do this, right? They want to invest in people's around the world having an opportunity to be developers, to actually do something
but it's not going to. It's not a bit
in the blockchain.
but it's misguided in the bit. Yeah, okay, then say blockchain. It's not really a Bitcoin developer. There's nothing to develop with Bitcoin, right? So
Yeah, but the guy's smart. I mean, he's spinning
find
this,
out.
using this, whatever he's doing, whether it works or not. trying to order a pizza right now.
Well, he's capitalizing on the ghosting, right? The ghost kitchens that popped up during the pandemic. Like the guy down the street goes, "Hey man, have you tried this wing place?" And I look at the wings and it's like, just wings or something like that. And it's like badass wings and this and that. Well, it turns out it's being running out of the local Chili's, but they don't have an address. It's delivery only. So the kitchen started opening up, you know, doing all these marketing campaigns. And he's kind of playing off of that, which is fine. But let's listen to the rest of it here.
Yeah.
So this Saturday, make sure that you clear your calendar and you order Bitcoin pizza.
Sweet, man. Now, the thing is, it's only 10,000 pizzas. And it's only May 22nd through the 29th.
Oh, it is?
The Human Rights Foundation. So you can order it. There it is. It starts on the 22nd. So we go to Bitcoin Pizza Flagler. They're all Bitcoin pizza. So I'm sure that is, let's go delivery later. That's interesting. Doesn't work. All right.
XRP Speedboat says OTC ramen noodles to your dorm. There you go. Boom. OTC noodles. That's what we're going to be talking about. I love the idea. OTC ramen noodles. Jeff, write that idea. File that away somewhere important so we don't forget it.
It's in my brain.
That might show up on a t-shirt right there.
There's a little bit first way up there. KTI. Hi, Jeff and Chip. You know the old saying, it's good enough for government work, especially when it's subpar.
Well,
Love
somebody,
I
actually was working at a place where the guy's like, it's government work. You know, it's like, why get yourself all excited? It's government work, right? So everyone knows it's implied that it's just like, not that great, you know? I mean, look, pomp is pomp. He's a great sort of a showman. You know, he's really good at the whole Bitcoin thing. But, you know, I don't know. Let's buy XRP pizza. 1 day only, available when the market crashed. It went down to 11 cents.
Pizza. How about a terawatt?
I like the ramen noodle idea. You know, we deliver ramen noodles to dorm rooms because that's what I lived off of. And
I love it. Oh, man, they were the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, man, pour some hot water in there, man. You had a dorm room. You could always have like that little the hot water thing. Boom, to your dorm.
OTC ramen noodles to your dorm. Bought by XRP. Idea. Bought with your XRP. Imagine that. You can get a whole case of ramen noodles
pineapple, says
for one XRP.
Right
there you go. Man, I remember in school we used to get we'd get what we get? We get 2 pizzas every night at 11:30 or 11, and it was peppers, onions, black olives, green pepper.
We only got cheese, Jeff. Every time we ordered a pizza, it was cheese pizza. That was it. And the guy would come, and he was coming to the dorm so often because I was at Duquesne up in Pittsburgh, and he would come to the dorms like it was like right down at the foot of the hill. He would come up with like 10 or 12 pizzas. And then some people would drop water balloons on him for the dorm. So it was like really bad. I'm like, he's got our pizza. Wait till he leaves at least, please. So anyway, that's it, man. I mean, that's how the hour goes.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, there you go. XRP. Yeah, that's how fast things go around here, Jeff. Just like that, in like a nanosecond, we're done. We're out of here. We're almost ready to go. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. And I want to thank you for bringing your A game, which you always do, unlike government workers, which kind of you know, their D, F, G, whatever, their Z game, their Z game, whatever it may be, they kind of just, it's government work, you know. So I want to thank everybody for, yeah, you know those, you know how that works, Jeff, right? So I want to thank everybody for putting in the work, doing the work. Appreciate the super chats tonight, as always. And check out On the Chain, the other channel. Put a good video out there, 12 minutes long, drops at 6:30 tomorrow. Check it out. I think you're going to like it. And that's all I know. Jeff, what do you have?
So I just want to say thanks for everyone being here. If you're brand new to On the Chain, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifier. That way you get notified every time we go live. And we do that 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. And with that, Chip, tomorrow's Wednesday. It's another night, another day of crypto and here on the chain. So we'll be back at 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be back here at 8 p.m. Let's do this all over. All fresh news to go through, all fresh things to laugh about. That's all we can do sometimes at these times is laugh about them. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Jeff and Chip out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.